It's funny how weddings are supposed to bring families together, but mine was the start of everything falling apart. Growing up, I always knew my younger sister Claire was the golden child, beautiful, bubbly, always the center of attention at every family function. I was the quieter one, the planner, the one who helped organize birthday parties, decorated the Christmas tree perfectly, and took care of our aging grandparents while Claire chased Instagram likes and packed bags for spontaneous getaways. Still, I never complained. I thought, naively, that love and fairness would catch up to me one day, that maybe just once I'd be seen, valued, celebrated. Please subscribe to our channel and tell me in comments from where are you watching this video that hope lived in the one promise my parents had made since I was a teenager, the wedding fund. It wasn't huge, but it was enough, something they started putting away when I turned 16. My mom even joked about it, saying, "One day when our responsible girl finds someone worthy, she won't have to worry about anything." That promise sat in the background of every failed relationship I navigated, every heartbreak, every bad date. But when I met Evan, something shifted. He wasn't flashy or loud, but he was kind, honest, and he saw me, really saw me. After 2 years together, he proposed on a quiet hike, just the two of us under the trees. No cameras, no filters, just love. When I told my parents, they smiled, but something about it felt off. My mother's smile didn't quite reach her eyes. My dad mumbled something about expenses and how things are tight lately. At first, I thought they were just in shock that the quiet daughter was getting married before the glamorous one. But the truth revealed itself like a slap across the face 2 months later when I sat down with them to go over wedding plans. I had a spreadsheet printed out with venue options, budget columns, everything organized. I was nervous but excited. "So," I asked, "can we talk about the wedding fund now? I need to start locking down vendors." My mother blinked. Then she looked at my father, who shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "Oh, sweetie," she said in that saccharine tone that always meant something awful was coming. "We meant to talk to you about that." My heart dropped. My dad cleared his throat and avoided my eyes. "We had to use the money. For Claire and Zach." I stared at them, not comprehending. For what? Their eyes finally met mine. For their honeymoon. They wanted something really special and, well, Zach's family couldn't contribute as much as they hoped, and Claire was so heartbroken about it. We couldn't let her start her marriage feeling disappointed. Silence. I could actually hear the blood rushing in my ears. I thought I'd misheard. "You took my wedding fund, the one you saved for me, the one you promised, for me. You gave it to Claire? For a vacation?" "She's your sister," my mom said, as if that somehow made it better. "And you always said you wanted a simple wedding. Claire's never been to the Maldives, and it's her dream." I laughed then, a bitter, hollow sound I didn't recognize as mine. My dreams apparently didn't matter. My years of being the easy daughter, the understanding one, the one who never asked for much, that meant I could be walked over, sacrificed for someone shinier, louder. I left their house that night without saying much else. Evan, to his credit, was furious when I told him. He offered to help pay, said we'd make it work somehow. But it wasn't about the money anymore. It was about betrayal, about being robbed not just of money, but of dignity. I could have accepted it if they'd told me the truth earlier. I could have even forgiven it if they were honest. But they weren't. They planned to never tell me. If I hadn't asked, they probably would have pretended it never existed. That night, I lay awake, thinking of every moment I'd played second fiddle to Claire, every time I gave up something to make peace, every time my parents praised her for things I quietly did behind the scenes. I thought I was done being bitter, but I wasn't. And then, something inside me clicked. I didn't want revenge. I wanted a reckoning. A quiet, unforgettable reckoning. The kind that didn't involve shouting matches or dramatic confrontations, but a statement. A statement they'd remember for the rest of their lives. So I came up with a plan, not out of hate, but out of the same calculated love I'd once wasted trying to earn their approval. I would still send them a gift. Oh, I would, but it wouldn't be anything they could unwrap with a ribbon. It would be truth, carefully packaged in the one thing they couldn't ignore. And they'd never look at me or Claire the same way again. The day after I found out about the betrayal, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't even vent to friends. I simply sat in silence with a cup of tea and stared out the window, letting the weight of the realization settle into my bones. My wedding, this symbolic celebration of love and family, had already been tainted by the people who were supposed to cherish me most. But something about that calm helped me see things clearly. For the first time, I wasn't trying to protect anyone's feelings. I wasn't trying to be the peacemaker. I was done with quiet obedience. And that's when the plan began. First, I called Claire. She answered cheerily, probably tanning by some pool. I didn't ask. I didn't care. "Hey," I said flatly. "Just wanted to say congratulations on the Maldives. Hope it's everything you dreamed." She paused, caught off guard. "Thanks? You're not mad, are you? Mom said you were upset about the wedding fund." I cut her off. "I'm not mad. I'm done." Click. I blocked her number immediately. Then I called the venue Evan and I had been eyeing and canceled the booking. It was a charming vineyard just outside town, romantic, rustic, everything I wanted. But it wasn't mine anymore. Not after this. Instead, I used our savings to book something else, a small, quiet courthouse ceremony. Evan supported it completely. We planned it in secret, just the two of us, his sister as our witness, and his best friend to snap photos. No white dress, no flowers, just vows and sincerity and the kind of love that doesn't need chandeliers or champagne fountains. But here's where the gift part comes in. You see, I had one last surprise planned. My parents had taken something sacred and turned it into a selfish gesture. So I decided to return the favor. But instead of stealing, I'd reveal. I sent out digital invitations for a special family celebration the following Saturday evening. I made it sound formal, important, a gathering no one would want to miss. I told them it was about the wedding, but not the one they thought. My parents came dressed to impress. Claire showed up in designer heels, freshly tanned, flaunting photos of the overwater bungalow and five-star dining. My dad wore a smug expression that made my stomach turn. My mom had that familiar, rehearsed smile, the one she wore when she needed to look good in front of people. We were in the event room of a cozy restaurant Evan's friend owned. Warm lighting, soft music, wine glasses gleaming. They thought it was a pre-wedding announcement or some kind of apology dinner, maybe even a peace offering. It wasn't. When everyone had gathered and glasses were filled, I stepped to the front of the room. Evan stood beside me, hand in mine, calm and strong. "Thank you all for coming," I began. "I know this invitation was last minute and a little vague, but I promise this night is important." Claire grinned, clearly assuming the spotlight was hers again. I took a deep breath. Then I clicked a button, and the projector behind me lit up. The first image was of Evan and me, standing in front of the courthouse. Married, smiling, free. Gasps. My mom covered her mouth. My dad's jaw clenched. "We got married 3 days ago," I said plainly. "We didn't tell anyone because, frankly, not everyone deserved to be part of it." Silence. "Now, I know you might be surprised," I continued. "But here's what I want to say, and what you all deserve to hear." The next slide appeared. It was an Excel sheet, my wedding budget, the fund my parents had supposedly been saving. And then, screenshots of transactions from their account, money wired to Claire and Zach for their trip. Evan had done some digging. We had proof. "This," I said, "was stolen from me." A promise broken. Not just money, but trust, respect. And for what? So someone else could take a vacation? Claire's face paled. My dad stood up, about to protest, but I raised a hand. "I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to ask for sympathy. I just wanted you to see what you lost." Then I played a video. It was from the courthouse. Me and Evan reading our vows. Simple, honest, tears in our eyes. Promises made without fanfare. When it ended, I smiled. This is what love looks like. And this night, is not about revenge. It's closure. I walked down the steps and handed my parents a small box. Inside were photos of me as a child. Birthday parties, dance recitals, holidays, each one with a tiny note I had written on the back. Notes like, "Thanks for always believing in me," and "I'm lucky to have you," all torn in half. I looked my mom in the eye. "I gave you all of me for years. I don't hate you, but I've stopped needing you." And I left. We moved a few months later. Evan got a new job offer and we took it. A fresh start. No phone calls from Claire, no emails from my mom. Just peace. And yet, every year on our anniversary, I get a letter from my father. Sometimes it's just, "I'm sorry." Other times it's longer. Full of memories, regret, attempts at reconnection. I haven't answered any of them, because some gifts, once given, can't be returned. And some lessons need to hurt.